Hey friends, welcome back to the 17th episode of iPhone app creation tutorial. If you are joining me now, I would request you to go back to the first video. This videos ranges from 40 minutes to 15 minutes based upon the beginning or towards the end. The initial video is a little longer as I'm giving you the concepts, and towards the towards the latest videos they are more like 15-20 minutes videos. These are videos to make you learn iPhone app creation tutorial using the iOS platform. It walks you through step by step of creation of an app. We are creating an app known as Book Tracker, where you can track books. You can store books, you can update, delete books, you can see things which you're already reading, books you have already read, and things of those nature. So think of this as a mini library of all records related to your book reading and that you have done so far. Okay, so we'll go ahead with the 17th episode now. As we always do, click on the Xcode icon from the toolbar and open the book tracker tutorial. So when I left you last, I told you that I'm going to teach you a concept known as update record. So what is an update record? So update record is where you want to update. Let's say you save something and later you realize that there's a value which is wrong and you want to update or change the value. Maybe there's a spelling mistake, maybe the author name was wrong, maybe the genre you picked was not right, things of those nature, right? So let's run the app quickly to showcase what I mean, and then I'll take you through the steps to update it. Okay, let it come through. Okay, now that you have this, what you have done so far, you can delete records and things like that, but assume that this record I want to update as well. So right here in delete, I want another option which is known as maybe edit or update, where I can go, I can change all the values, and then when I save it, it updates the record, right? So we need to achieve that. What do you need to do? Okay, so let's stop this. And to do that, I'm going to teach you a new function known as trailing swipe action. That's a swipe action. There's a trailing swipe action function. If you recall, I have taught you this editing style, but editing style has a limitation. If you want to delete only, this is great, it is built in. But if you want to have custom menu like the one I am talking about now, then you need to update trailing swipe action of the table view. So table view provides you a trailing swipe action. So you say trailing swipe action. Moment you type that, you get this trailing swipe action. Select that. It's a table view function. Whenever you swipe, this function will be called. What you need to do here is, if you recall, as I told you, these are the values which are passed on to you, right? So it gives you a table view. It's give you what action, so that you can define what action you want in this trailing swipe action. Gives you the row and the index number so that you know which row it is. It also asks you to return a swipe action back. Why is that? Because you can define a custom menu. So if you're defining a custom menu, that has to go back so that it can show delete, edit, update, or whatever you want to call out over there. Okay, it's a very useful function. You must have seen it. The app that I would like you to check on your iPhone is your stock app. When you swipe right, you get different options to choose from. This is exactly what we are trying to do here, right? So once you're done with that, what you need to do is you have to define a variable which will be holding the action that you want. So since we've done delete before, I'm going to comment this and I'll call delete from here. How about that? At least you'll get used to the function before we go ahead and do anything else. So define a variable known as I'll say delete action. And this delete action is of type UI, because you're creating a UI contextual action. Take this, and when you open the bracket, it'll give you two init options. One is without any parameters, one is with parameters. Since you're going to define this, take the one with the parameter. Okay, so I'm defining a delete action now. The first is a style. What kind of style you want? Take the destructive style. Destructive is, when you swipe all the way to the left, it will actually perform the action. You don't have to click on it. So it will do. I'll show it to you when we run the function. So let's take the destructive. It can take normal as well. Here is a title. We can give any title. This we are creating delete, so we'll give delete. When we're going to create edit or update, we'll give edit or update, right? Now this handler is important. If you recall, we have done a filter array before, which is like having a function within a function. These are known as inline functions. So that's what we're going to do. Handler is when this is called, what all things are going to happen here, right? So what you do is when you have an inline function within a function, you start with a open braces and close braces. So it sees like this. And for that open braces, within this bracket, you have to say what are the value you're getting. So you'll have an action, you will have a view, and then you will get a value known as success. Okay. And for that, you'll say that I'm going to define in this, if you recall, this is how we did for filter array as well. I'm going to define what I need to do. So when you say in, you can do anything that you want to. For example, you can do all of these three actions here, right? This is what we want to do when the delete action is called. Delete the book, we'll call the delete book. From the entity, you will remove the book, and then you'll upload the table. While you'll do all of those, so you see that there is an error that is coming. I will deal with that error a little later, because you have to use self here, or you can just, maybe you can fix it now. You can say self. When we're using inline, it has to know that it is these values are defined within that. It is still giving an error because it has to return a value, right? So for returning a value, what you need to do is you'll say UI, this is swipe action, right? UI swipe action configuration as a third one. If you recall, this is what it wants, right? So you see UI swipe action configuration, and when you open the bracket, it gets actions. It said, what do you want to return? It's an array. Why array? Because you can have more than one. Right now you're only returning delete action. That's the one you defined here. So you're defining all the function here, and along with that inline function is returned back. And I'm sorry, I have to say return. Sorry about that. So you say return this, right? So it will return back to this. There are a few more things you can do. You can say delete action dot background color. See, it was red for delete. Let's put red again, right? If you want a different color, you can give a different color as well using UI color, right? I will remark this for now because I'm using the trailing swipe action to do that. Why? Because I told you, because delete is not the only thing I want to do. I want to do other things as well. But for now, I repeated a delete function just to showcase how it works. And let's run this. Okay. Wow, you still get the delete. And if you click on delete, it's working perfectly fine, right? So that's how you have done it. Just to make sure that you get this, I can make the red as, let's say, black. And you run this again. You see a black delete here. How cool is that, right? You can have icons also here. I leave that to you. How do you have an icon within, instead of having the word, you can show an icon. So take that as an exercise and showcase to me in your next one, and maybe I'll put a tutorial for that. But once you have done, just put your code in the comment box of how you've done it, okay? Now, since I've done delete, and I'll convert this to red again, right? I want to do one more let, which is for the edit function, right? So should I say edit or update? I'll say update action. You can say anything. Similar way, you'll say UI contextual action, and then you will take the second one. Style is destructive, or maybe this one normal, so it will not go all the way, and I'll show you destructive what it basically means. Title is, I'll say update, and then handler is again the same thing. You will give this, bring this down, and here by default it takes three values. What is the action? which view is this? This is the bar that you're creating and the success value that comes in, and say in. And here we'll do something. What we'll do, we will figure that out. For now, let's say we'll simply print, just like we always do, print books index path dot row dot book name. So at least we know that which book we want to edit. Okay. And then what we need to do, oh, you have to use self, don't forget that. So yes, once you have done that, put the exclamation mark for forcing it. Let's say we will say update action dot background color is equals to, let's say we give a gray color to it. Okay. And then when we're returning it, I would say that it has two values. One is update action, comma, delete action. You can have as many as you want. So now we have created two. You can see that. Now we know that we need to write this function update, what we need to do in that, but at least structurally you have created it. Now let's run this again. Okay. See, deleted it. That's the destructive function, right? So when you swipe it all the way down, it deleted the record. Okay. So I'll stop this, run this again. Okay, you can get update and delete. If you want to reverse, you know which one to give first, which one to give next. You can do it all the way down from here. Okay. All right. So with this, now we have to do the update function. So what you do need to do in the update function, you have to learn many things, right? One, for update to happen, you need to, let me run this again so I can show it to you. You may have to show a screen like this again with filled in value. Maybe you can show the same screen, and we need to jump to the screen. So imagine the moment someone clicks on that update, right now when it clicks on the update, all it's doing is printing the name, right? But what we want to do is when the update is clicked, probably we want to go to this bar. We want to fill all this record. How will you fill the record? You have the book ID. From there you can fill everything. You have everything in the books, right? So you can fill those values accordingly. And once it is filled, then when you do the save this time, you have to update it. So maybe you have to keep a tracker that from where the record is come, because if it is for the first time you save it, if it is coming from an existing record, you have to update it. All of these and more I'm going to teach in the next one, but why don't you try creating the screen? So use the same screen. What you need to do is, as soon as someone clicks on update, it takes you to this screen, automatically fills all the value from the books, you know, the index path.row, and then you have some mechanics to know that it has come from that screen, so that when you click on this save, it is not doing the save, but you create an update record. What we do in the update, I'll show in the next one, but that's what your exercise is. Thank you again for listening, and I will see you guys soon again. Take care. Bye.